It was probably the best trip I've ever been on in my life, just because it really opened a lot of doors and like a lot of just overall things for me, especially knowing like that's for sure the path that I want to take with the rest of my life, like career-wise. So it was really well worth it in my opinion.
I saw the neotropical river otter, and we were at the place where we were having lunch on the way to Tortuguero, and we were watching the river and just taking it all in, and out of the corner of our eyes on the rock we see this river otter, and it was only there for like maybe 10 seconds. So I pulled up my phone, I took a quick picture of it, and it went right in the water.
So orangutan is a little fruit that's probably like, it fits in like the palm of your hand, and it's bright pink and spiky, and it has a pretty thick outer shell, but once you break open the orangutan, it's like a grape without skin, a big grape that doesn't have skin and has a really big pit on the inside, and it tastes super sweet, just like a grape. It's really good. I love orangutans, but I had a hard time opening them. I really like the rambutan's. I want to eat some right now.
I sort of look for like the uncomfortable to sort of crazy. So like when like the things like the mud, to me that's fun and it's not like an inconvenience. I just have fun with it. Once we got to our location, the only way off that was taking a boat through canals and rivers. The basilisk was probably one of my favorite animals to see. It was just a really cool looking lizard. Yeah, they have the ability to run on the water, and it was really neat to see a few of those run. It was a little tiny thing that just darted across the water. You could see its little web feet. It was awesome.
I'm really into like the predators and big apex predators around there, so I think I have to pick the caiman. Caiman's always really cool to me because I grew up in Florida and they had alligators there, so moving to Texas, nothing like that's around here. So we were in a boat up next to it, probably 20 yards from it, and it was swimming, and then I think it must have noticed the heron up on the bank, and so it started swimming towards it, but before it got too close, it went the heron to see it, went underwater. And you could still see it, their sun was hitting into the water, was a little clear, and you could see the shadow of the caiman moving up to the heron underwater. But I think the heron also saw it when it got pretty close, and then that's when the heron flew away.
The leafcutter ants, even though they're so small, like we were all amazed by what they were doing. When we were at the research center the last day on the way back to San Jose, we stepped to the side and we watched a large group of them just going back and forth from their colony in the forest and bringing their leaves into. And it was so cool. Like, that's something that you can't see here. They do not eat the leaves. They use the leaves to make fungi.
They're waiting that the vulture's coming down and basically clean the body, clean the bones, and they start to see the...
I like the beach, but we weren't actually able to get in the water because the undertow is pretty strong, but that actually helps the sea turtles because it helps them take them out to the sea.
We saw the turtles, which was amazing for me because that's the reason I want to be a marine biologist, is for sea turtles. So being able to see like the little baby sea turtles make their way to the ocean was super, super cool for me.
I thought the turtles were really cool, especially because I remember in probably like kindergarten or first grade, the science teacher we had then talked to us about sea turtles, and we watched little videos on them. I don't remember that, but I just remembering that, like pulling that from my memories, like when we're in Costa Rica and seeing the turtles, I thought it was so cool because I was like, oh, like I remember this when I was little, and now I'm like seeing it in person, which is like crazy.
We went and we hiked the Cerro, which was super fun because I've never actually been on a hike before, like officially, so that was super cool. And just being able to like be in the rainforest, and we got to see so many cool animals, and like we got to see like the stray dogs and like how they interact with their environment. It was interesting to see like the kind of thing that they do in the rainforest and just see like their impact. And also the view from the top of the hill was amazing. It was so pretty. It looked probably one of the best things I've ever seen.
I mean, it's practical, but
I like being in the rainforest. That was my first time traveling out of the country, and it was a really cool experience to spend the nights in the rainforest. So when you're hiking the Cerro, you can you're on this path. It's an elevated path like above the forest. We actually found 2 stray dogs there, and you can see the path through the forest because it's an elevated concrete path. You can see the little bit of indent in the forest that it makes because it's disturbing the environment.
Really nice when you got to the top and the view was so pretty, and yeah, and you just saw a lot of animals like that you would never see before, like the spiders and then the bat cave.
My favorite thing that we did on the trip was the canal trips, because that's something that you can't do in the United States. And it was really cool that they didn't really have cars. We only took a bus the first and last day. So we had to travel by river to get to our hotel, to get to all the places that we were visiting. Like we're hearing birds that we don't have here.
There is a blue heron, right? Yeah,
We're hearing sounds that you can't experience unless you take a trip to Costa Rica. We were taking notes and making observations of what we saw. Our group was keeping track of how many of each animal we saw, and we were just making observations.
Could we move that leaf, please?
getting rid of parasites.
It was definitely, the Inhigo was definitely one of my favorite animals that we saw, definitely one of my favorite birds. It's so majestic, just sits on the branches and spreads its wings out and then flies away. I don't know, it was really pretty. I loved coming across around the canals and just seeing, spotting a branch that had an Inhigo. It was so beautiful.
I got that one.
What? The sphincters they know. Now, is that juicy or what? Anyway.
I got the award, it was cool.
Birds almost always will poop before they fly.
Canal Palma was just a bunch of people out there for a few months doing research, and just getting by with the few amount of people they have. That was just a great time. I don't think there's any other trip with the school that'd be like that. And it's just an experience for those of us that went on it.
We went to the Canal Palma Biological Station and I had a really great time there. We went into the rainforest and it was very muddy and we had our rain boots on and we went hiking through the rainforest trying to just see as much as we could. And eventually we got to a point where we got to see the tent bats, and we were all able to look underneath and see the bats underneath the trees, and it was a really great experience just to see everything and actually go inside of the rainforest and trek through and get our hands dirty. It was a good time.
I really loved seeing the tent tent making bats because they were so cool and so cute. And like if I was an animal, I'd want to be a tent making bat because they just kind of curl up in their little leaves. I think my favorite part of the trip was the Canal Palma research station. Just because it was like such a good community vibe. Like it started raining and then we all went inside and had donuts and fruit, like homemade donuts that were really good. And it was nice to getting to talk to like these young people that are doing super awesome work.
We actually got to meet someone that we read about in one of our journal articles that we did in class. And I was really looking forward to meeting him, and I did, and I got his autograph. It was really cool just to like see where everything took place and like just be able to experience what we actually had like read in class. It just made everything feel so like real.
My boat, people there were college grads working with like a manager, a couple people there. And theirs seemed fun. I mean, they were doing everything out in the wild like you should. Wasn't very much high technology, but they're having a good time and looked very interesting what they're doing right out in the field.
And we also saw the tiger heron. We saw their courtship dance, which was super, super cool because I've never seen anything like that, especially not in person. So being able to see that and seeing like the whole chase that was going on was super, super cool. So I think that that was probably a highlight for me.
The purple gallinule was really cool because like you said on the boat, we don't really see them out in the open very much, but it was just kind of standing right on the edge of the plants over there, and the boat was able to get really close to it. And I have pictures of like being like 4 feet away from this, and just like all of the bright colors. I don't know why. It was really cool. It was really exciting, just like once you mentioned like, whoa, what is that? And then everyone like feeding off of it and being like, whoa, if Mr. Garnett's really excited about seeing this, then like that really means that this is something special.
The capuchin monkeys were crazy. They would run around on everyone's roofs in the middle of the night and wake everybody up, and they would come to the dining hall and like try to get people's food. And then one notable experience was when they raided the bar and they were drinking bottles and dropping bottles and just causing mayhem. And they would often get on the roofs and like, they would just get on the roof and pee.
Capuchin monkeys were so funny. This monkey was just like there, like 2 feet away from us, and like came up to us and was like, it was almost like the like squirrels that you see in the park.
Same principle? So surface tension? Okay. Well, in this case, it's the vegetation that supports it, but the vegetation is being supported by the surface tension.
It's not surface tension, it's spraying.
We took the boat over to San Francisco, and it took a while because we had to pack like the suitcases of all of the stuff they were bringing, like the school supplies. We walked through basically the whole town, and kids saw us from like walking up, and they were like waving. It was really cute. It was really cool to see just like what life is like out there and the differences between of like how long it takes to get places here versus 10, 15 minutes walking across the entire town out there, and kind of the resources that all of those kids had. We split up into groups and went into different classrooms. So my group was first grade, and we went in, we introduced ourselves. As we all said our ages, there were these two little boys who looked at each other and were like, they're that old? Every single time that we said our ages. So 17 and 18, and it just completely blew their minds.
I'm taking Spanish 4, AP, as a lot of people know, and they think I'm crazy for, but it was nice being able to like use my Spanish in like the real world, because these children don't really know English, so like I was forced to use it in comparison to like talking to an adult that like could speak English as well, and then they would just like accommodate for me. I had to accommodate for them, and it was just really cute. They were so cute. They were just kind of in awe because they haven't seen like an Asian person before, which was nothing like malicious in any single way. It was just like, I haven't seen you, and I think you're interesting. So I thought that was really cute.
So sweet.
Like this, then they sit on the back, the others like on the back.
Put things in perspective, because I think we can kind of get used to like just seeing the same thing over here, and we're kind of like, oh my gosh, this is so boring. I have to go to class every single day and I have so much homework. But then those kids out there are excited to see a bunch of us and just be there with us, and they don't really have the same opportunities that we do. It just helped me remember to be grateful for all of the opportunities that I have, and the ability to go to Catholic school and to be able to even go on that trip.
Ok, vaya, corra. Ok, 1, 2, 3. Okay guys, good morning everybody. We have a new captain, Mr. Hector. Hello.
Now I've heard stories, you probably have too, about the... We stopped at a banana plantation and I was fangirling the whole time because I am a large banana consumer. I am a banana fan. The best day in class was when the banana presented to us. And Yeah, so we learned a lot. It was interesting. So they use zip lines to carry the bananas. So we didn't get to see any at the plantation itself, but definitely on the road we saw the bananas, the bunches of bananas going down the zip line. So it's really interesting that it's still a human like running and pulling the bananas behind them, even like in the 21st century when we have all this technology. So yeah, it was definitely a highlight of my trip.
So like an experience I would say was one of my favorites were visiting the La Selva research station. It's really cool to see all these people in action, researching, doing active experiments. They showed one experiment about poison dart frogs, how they had little containers on a tree where you could see, they were trying to see if the acid in the water affected how they laid their babies or where they put them and stuff. And it showed a lot of wildlife there, which you wouldn't see anywhere around here, big trees. But everything was protected there too, so you couldn't do anything, couldn't take anything.
It was my first time seeing a rubber tree. I thought that was awesome. I'd never seen a rubber tree before. I've heard about them, but seeing it in person, we thought it was like bird poop at first, but it turned out it was rubber. That was neat.
Wow. En el tapichel allá, en el kilograso, en la cabina. Eso. Por si quiere ponerlo, tal vez más bien yo creo que donde estaba era mejor.
Creo que veo uno.
Pero es que bueno, ahí ya están tapando las ramas. Ahí no se
It's just good to see people doing research out in the field. Good research.
binoculars, you can check they have these kind of rockets up there.
I didn't hear that.
But she can, yeah. So she stays there and avoid more males. And then when she lays the egg, if she's the only one,
That's gonna be the right one.
Now it's on the left. Now it's on the left.
Now it's on the left, and then gonna be on the right.
Oh my gosh, how beautiful!
We're going into the water.
It does look like so. That would be a great Disney. Disney would do that.
You mean like a ride?
Yes.
You could jump down that thing, but maybe the last thing you do.
I've seen photos.
Whoa. That is.
Tampoco está feo, man. Es este pedacillo. Ahí viene mini.
sabía, y yo sino que la oía simplemente la complacía. Que nació allá en la Bajura. Mi abuela que era tan sabia me maldijo desde Huila, que fue un negro bien guapo y con buena estatura, pa' que se arrulle en mi brazo el amor de una criatura. Mi abuela que reza tanto y se vuelve majadera.
I would say having fieldwork experience as a high school student is super important. When they go off to college, they will be among all of their peers that have not done any of this fieldwork before, have not been exposed to all of these research techniques. And so they will be uniquely ahead of their, of their cohorts, of their students next to them sitting in class. Their professors will be very impressed with them. After spending a week in the beautiful Costa Rican rainforest, it was sadly time to go.
Noches días.
I am confident that these experiences will stay with them for a lifetime. It might shape the way they view themselves, each other, and the world around them. I'm proud to have been part of the journey, and I have no doubt that they will continue to inspire others to explore, protect the natural wonders of our planet. It was a blessing for me to have spent this time with them. And finally, Pura Vida. You went to Costa Rica, huh?
Mm-hmm. I had a blast. Yeah, I had a blast.
Right? I did go to Costa Rica.
Well, you described it as like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I definitely thought it was.
I did. It was a great time.
I definitely had a blast.
Anything else?
If you have the chance, take Ecology. Go to Costa Rica. It's so worth it. That's what I would say.
He knows how to make a video.
Oh, yeah.